leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars. Should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Saying that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-side official. No negotiation needed. Period. You already know. Blue Hustle is the first in the building. What's good, everybody? Salute. To those of you that's on your way, you already know. Hit the like button on your way in. I usually don't say that, but once a year. It's up to you, man. If you rock with the channel, I definitely appreciate your support. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate your support. And hopefully your support is genuine. And understand I'm not up here competing with nobody. I just want to talk this combat sports. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm doing. So let me get this ready, man, because we have to talk about the timeline. You know what I'm saying? Recent events. You know, fights that make you say, You know what I'm saying? You got to talk about the fights that make you go, Is that fighter going to be something special? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, is there overhype, underhype? I don't know, man. I'm just looking at the fight just like you, man. But I do have my opinions. And we're going to talk about what everybody want to know. Who is hot and who is not. We need to figure this out because there was some haters, right? They never go anywhere. Like I say, haters is just like fungus. They hang around other fungus and they freaking multiply. And they just spread. And just because they're gaining in size, it's nothing productive from it. Real talk, it's nothing productive. It's just like a virus, man. There's nothing productive from it. It's especially in this boxing realm. That's not a garden you want to walk up on and say, oh, okay, they got some nice fruit, nutritional value food that they're growing. It's natural, not organic. Oh, my God, this is what I want. No, it's not like that. But I know y'all want to talk about the fight card that happened yesterday. There was some oohs, some ahs. I'm gonna be honest with you. There was some oohs, some ahs. And an ooh can be in a bad way. Also, it can be in a good way. And then some ahs would be like, oh man, god damn. Man, let me go up here to the concession stand. I'm gonna wait till this fight over with. And then the can be like, not this again. I thought we was done with that. See, there's a lot of people that was hating on this potentially being top ranked last fight card with ESPN. For the life of me, I don't know why people still hating when it comes down to, top rank versus anybody else in the promotional business. They're still trying their hard to be the token black soldier that's marching for PBC. You don't have to be the token black soldier to support a promotion. I supported both of them until I felt like it was much more solace in me doing my job over at Top Rank, and the people treated you like professionals. Rather than going over there to the chain gang camp where a lot of black media just wasn't there. They phased them out. And I saw a trend. I saw a trend where black media, when it came to the big fights, no, you wouldn't get approved for credentials. I'm just putting it out there. That's just what I seen. That's what I witnessed. That's what I experienced. All that. All that. But Top Rank, shout out to the flagship of boxing. I gotta show them love, man. I gotta show Top Rank love when it comes to credentials. Now, of course, the media game is it is what it is. You have some people that can talk that talk. But let's be clear. I just wasn't there doing the interviews. I was shooting still frames, man, collecting videos, enhancing my knowledge on the fight game, talking to fighters and managers. I was able to walk that walk and, meet some good people, travel, to certain places, chop it up with my colleagues, make friends, never make friends. Some people you can have a cordial relationship with, and some it's just not meant to be. But let me first start off out of this fight card. Emiliano Vargas. He stepped in there with Alexander Espinoza, y'all. Okay? If y'all looking on the screen, let me make sure I'm good to go. All right. Let me make sure my people good to go over here. All right, cool. You looking at what I'm looking at. So, matter of fact, it's Carlos Rosado. What's good, man? My bad. Carlos Rosado, what's good? Salute to you. I see you in the building. NYT on deck in the building. Bud Myers, what's good? Salute to you. I forgot who that was. I forgot who you was, man. Oh, Raz. What's good, Raz? How you feeling, bro? I know that was familiarity there. I knew I just had to, calibrate it, just to calibrate the thought process a little bit. My picks on that Xander card were actually biased. I picked all the Puerto Ricans to win. I even picked the Rican to beat the Rican. Okay. I mean, that happens sometime. Hey, Carl, I'm going to tell you a little secret between us, man. Blacks do it all the time, dog. Blacks bet against other blacks all the time, man. Come on now. What are you up here apologizing for, man? Come on, man. Go to the bar and tell them drinks on me, man. I mean, no, you got three shot minimum, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? That's some barefoot Moscato. They ain't the damn premium shit either. Shoo was in a sparring session last night. We're going to talk about Shoo. We definitely going to talk about Shoo. AB, what's good, man? Matter of fact, AB, where you over here, man? Where you at? Where you at, man? Yeah, I'll hook you up, AB. Hey, damn, let me hook up what's his name too. Forgot while I'm over here. Hold on one more second, man. Where you at? All right, we straight now. I just had to. Shout out to Don Vaughn in the building, man. I see you. What's good, man? So I want to just go through this fight card right quick and get some clarity. I need some clarity in these diamonds, man, because some came up like they was a little cloudy last night. You know what I'm saying? I took them to the goddamn jeweler and I said, hey, we got some fights on deck, man. They supposed to be some diamonds in the rough. Let me know what you see. He said, hey, man, this fight right here, Emiliano Vargas, Alexander Espinoza, he went out in the first round. You get partial value on the appraisal. Emiliano Vargas, he's doing what he's supposed to do. 14-0, man, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Seriously. He's going in there, representing the Vargas name. He's getting it done. That's what he's supposed to do. Alexander Espinoza, in my opinion, with like 23, 24 fights, he was there just to collect that CK and keep it moving. Vargas ain't hitting that hard. Come on, man. You have more experience than him, and you just went out in the first round. Pathetic. You didn't want to fight. I don't think Espinoza even went to the full fight camp. That was just pitiful. But shout out to Emiliano Vargas, mad potential. I want to see him step up and do what he got to do. He's only 14-0, but he has the Vargas lineage with him. So look for him to do bigger and better things, man. Hopefully. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully. Let's get down to the talk of all talks, Rohan Polanco. Rohan. Hear ye, Polanco. You was just recently relaxing and kick back on the podcast because somebody gave you unauthorized access to talk your shit. And you was busy up there chattering about you want Ron Norman. Son, you was in there with a vet, Quinton Randall. Shout out to Quinton Randall. Salute the Quinton Randall, bro. Slick, crafty fighter. Slick, crafty fighter. Exposed the hell out of Polanco. Now, people are going to say, oh, WCS, you exaggerating because, Polanco still landed some punch. Man, he was smothering his work. Every now and then, he would get enough distance. But Quinton Randall, being as experienced and crafty as he is, you know what I'm saying? He might not win every time. But to me, Randall wins with improving every time I see him. He wins with him being technically savvy. He's very savvy in there. He's aware. When he was pivoting out to his right, very aware. He was slipping some of those Polanco right hands that he kept on throwing like he was Pitbull Cruz. Bro, you talking about going in there with who again? Man, if you talking about going in there throwing those reckless shots that even Quinton Randall was seeing, if Randall, as astute of a boxer as he is, to the science, if he was slipping those power shots you was sending, what do you think Norman's gonna do to you? Norman would absolutely stop Polanco like it was a mudslide in the middle of New York. He will stop traffic on Polanco. He couldn't even do anything to break down Quinton Randall and to show Randall like, hey, I know you experienced and everything. I know you're a vet, but I'm different. I'm on the rise. I'm climbing. I'm changing elevations each fight. He gets behind the mic and talk about fighting Brian Norman. And it's just not there yet. I don't care how many of you all defend him on X. I shot Polanco's fight one time and I put it out on X, man, and they didn't even comment on it. They didn't start commenting on and talking about Polanco until he started talking about Norman. So cloud chasing is a real thing, y'all. But I was impressed more with Quinton Randall than I was with Rohan Polanco. I'm going to be honest. You goddamn right. I was more impressed with Quinton Randall than I was with Polanco. Quinton Randall, 34 years of age, super slick dude in the ring. And he exposed some areas of Polanco that needs to be corrected. That's all I'm saying, y'all. I'm not hating on the youngin', but he's been around here calling out fighters that will get him the Sasaki Rest Memorial. Okay? Unless you want to go to the Sasaki Rest Memorial enshrinement, you need to stay away from Norman and then fight some other fights. You ain't ready. Because for one, I don't think Polanco has the power to make Brian Norman respect him. Right? And also, he was sending the same shots when he was in position, close quarters. Sometimes he was just sending the same shots, And like I said, the impressive part about Randall that he had the timing down of Polanco pretty early in the fight. He had his timing down. And I was like, God damn, he's collected data on freaking Polanco that quick. But Polanco didn't want to switch anything up. Does he have mad potential? Yeah, Polanco has mad potential. He's not a bad fighter at all. But you was up here calling out goddamn Norman Jr. from the dirty. And I just don't know if you really want to go through that memorial. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you want to hear the horns blow yet, Polanco. You wouldn't want me doing a live and put Jen Sasaki and yourself side by side on a thumbnail in the same position. Norman Jr. will knock you out, bro. Your defense is lacking big time. And just because Randall didn't have enough power to keep you all the way cautious about going in there, you won't get away with that with Norman Jr. So I'm moving on from Polanco, man. You know, may you continue to improve in the gym. May this be a lesson that was taught. But I know the haters that was on X was telling me that Polanco did better than Norman. Okay. Look. You're going to say it was less holding in this fight. I get it. You're right. It was less holding in this fight with Polanco and Randall. But when you look at BoxRec and the color green lights up, it says UD. It says UD for both. The rest is what it is. Moving on. Bruce Carrington. Matthias Heiter. I think that was his name, Heiter. Let me tell you about this. Bruce Carrington has a lot going on, especially he's enhancing his brand each and every fight. Good dude, man. Real talk. He don't come off as being fake at all. Good guy in boxing. With everything that's going on with him being 15-0, he has to now think about who's going to get him that next big fight. Like he had a on the couch moment, him and Keyshawn, where he was talking about how he want Inoue. And both of them was talking about fighters that they wanted. I get it. But when it comes down to Bruce now being 16-0 and calling out Rafael Espinoza, he's 28 years of age. He's the interim WBC champion. Okay. Will his people be confident enough to get Shushu that Rafael Espinoza after what we seen him in there doing to El Tren Robisa Ramirez? And man, anybody who know me know Robisa's, man, that's my guy, man. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy for real. I like El Tren, man. I thank him for blessing me with some money shots, you know, but he lost to Espinoza twice. So right now, you have Shushu Carrington calling out Espinoza, Ball. And I think right now, you know, that's where it stops. Because to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to see him in there with Stephen Fulton. I think Stephen Fulton routes Shushu easily. I think Espinoza will be a huge, like a very long-standing, lengthy, rangy problem for Bruce Carrington. Nothing against Shushu, but Espinoza is a very rugged, dirty, edgy fighter. Every now and then he would throw them damn elbows in there. Real talk. And that's not just by coincidence either. I don't know if I have a plan, or I can honestly tell the listeners, say, hey, I think Bruce Carrington figured out against Espinoza. Real talk. Styles make fights, right? I think if you want me to go back to the clarinet and try to play your tune, you know, it ain't gonna sound too good. But I do give him the trumpets and the trombones and the little drums when it comes to Nick Ball. Okay, style for style, you know, Nick Ball. That's the fight I would like to see Bruce Carrington challenge for the WBA. Why? Because both fighters are short. Now, will it make it a distance? I don't freaking know. Nick Ball is a tornado in there. Shushu, my biggest question mark for him is why he doesn't stay on the gas. Like, you got the skills. It doesn't seem like you out of shape. When you go to the weigh-ins, you all down, shining, ripped up and all that, right? You selling the weigh-in. But then yesterday against Matias, it just seems like you was going 12. Maybe you was pacing yourself. But it was some moments in there where I thought you could have, you know, pedaled it Drop that clutch down in the third gear, fourth gear. You know what I'm saying? Run that clutch a little bit, drift around Matias, and let your hands go. That's what I thought. I thought you could have did more damage, but you didn't. Nick Ball is gonna force you to give the energy that you wasn't given last night. I guarantee you that there, Shushu. Nick Ball is gonna force you out any comfort zone that you was up there thinking that was an Airbnb. He's not gonna allow you to think that you're gonna kick your feet up for 12 rounds challenging for his WBA title. It ain't gonna happen. But on the other hand, Shushu might have his best outing against Nick Ball. I think Nick Ball is one of those opponents where Shushu can shine. I think this is a fight, height for height, reach for reach, experience with spirit. I think this is the better matchup out of the four. Not Angelo Leo, not Stephen Fulton, not Espinoza. But Nick Ball, I would like to see Bruce Carrington go in there, because one thing I know about Shushu, he can box. It's just all about, bro, why you don't stay on the gas? Why you don't try to have a sense of eagerness, not urgency, eagerness. Just be eager to take more risk. That's all I'm saying. Just be a little bit more eager to do certain things to change the magnitude of the fight. I like Shushu, man. He's a brand ambassador. Shu York. He's changing stuff up to benefit him. He's a good guy, man. I don't have nothing to say about him except it just seems like he was just pedaling the clutch a little bit. He was just like tapping the brake when he didn't need to. He was just chilling out. He didn't have a sense of urgency. The crowd was booing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I think he's better than that. And I think Nick Ball has the entire when you talk about paperwork for paperwork, I think the report card, to the eyes, to the eye test, is better seeing Shushu go in there against Nick Ball. I don't know about all the other three, but Nick Ball, short arms, yeah, I would like to see that. Moving on from this. And congratulations to the interim WBC champion, Shushu Carrington. I really want to see him fight Nick Ball to see if he can get his first title. He is 28 years of age. Yes, the same 28 that Jerron Ennis is, but you don't hear Shushu up here saying, hey, man, I'm glad I won my interim WBC championship. I turned 28 years old and my body is falling apart. Somebody please get me some duct tape and some Gorilla Glue. And hurry up, man. I'm feeling like another fighter over here. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't see that, man. Anyway, Xander Zayas versus Jorge Perez. What shall I say about this? What would be the proper, what would be the proper assessment for Xander? Xander, one of the youngest ever to sign with Top Rank, right? He's only 22 years old right now, I believe. He went in there against an opponent who was surfing that momentum off the Charles Conwell win. I have nothing bad to say about Perez, but he looked better facing Conwell than he did Zayas. Now, Zayas has been waiting for this moment. And you're talking about somebody who was recently in 47 for a short stint. Then he PCS'd up to 154. And at 154 is where he made his stance finally to get a title shot. Sebastian Fundora vacated and allowed the door to come ajar for Xander Zayas, and he got it done. Now, gas mask somehow throughout the Hulu Theater was administered because it was a little funky. I mean, there's some stink bombs going on up in there with Xander Zayas was in the ring. Congratulations to him, becoming the WBO super welterweight world champion. But that was gas mask. It wasn't a chemical attack. It was a attack of boredom, undervalued excitement. There are people in Puerto Rico that are a very short temper right now. Why? Because of what happened against Hamza Shiraz. So Xander Zayas may have been catching that wave, even though he wasn't really, the guy that used to hang out with that dude, and they was both kicking in the clubs, popping bottles and everything, and making it rain. That wasn't Xander Zayas. He's a good dude, straight up and down. But in order for him to become a household name, a superstar, is it because he's too big for 154? Is it time for Xander to move up to 160? Was he so-called, what's the two words? Man, weight drain. You know what I'm saying? Was he weight drain? Because I didn't want to bring up any other history where people say so-and-so was weight drain. But was Xander Zayas weight drain? Because I just felt like he did what he was supposed to do. He was touching up Perez. He was basically keeping the scorecards, levitated in his favor. Absolutely. But does he have the star, the it factor? Does he have that to carry forward so that he can be one of those big names in these divisions? Do you believe in your heart of hearts, people, that Xander Zayas can beat Sebastian Fundores with that performance versus Perez last night? Do you believe that Zayas can beat Murtazalayev? If they make the fight, it'll be a good match for people to tune into. Seriously, it'll be a good match for people to tune up. And I think the one that everybody would like to see if he's thinking about moving up is Sebastian Fundora. I really don't want to see Xander Zayas fight Murtazalayev. Because right now, Sebastian Fundora is looking better. He's improving. But so did Xander Zayas. Even though he kind of stunk up the place a little bit, Xander Zayas is a youngin' in the game. People love him. He got the look to be that star. He used to wear the braids. He shaved it all down. Then I don't know what happened. He went overseas and bumped into a coconut tree. The coconut fell down, cracked open, all the coconut milk and all the freaking all those oils and everything fell on his head and seasoned his scalp and everything. His hair started to grow uncontrollably, and he came back looking like Julio Don Juan. He came back looking like Castro Damas. Like they about to cast him in a Hollywood movie. Say hello to my two friends. It just seems like, Xander Zayas has what it takes. But I know boxing's tough. Does he have enough to be the guy? Does he have enough to be one of the face of boxing's? People want to come and see Xander fight. Is Puerto Rico struggling right now? Nah, I don't think they're struggling. I think we cannot compare Xander Zayas to Edgar Berlanga. Even though Berlanga's, in my opinion, Edgar Berlanga's fan base over there is bigger than Zayas. But to me, Zayas has made it to the pot of gold first. Zayas has made it to the championship scrap. He's a WBO super welterweight champion. That's something that Berlanga hasn't been able to accomplish as of yet. I'm just putting it out there. Shout out to my guy, the News by Shaw News Sauce Experience. On deck, Team Tucker official in the building. What it do, man? Should let Norman Jr. knock him out. Top Rank likes him. He got some Dominicans behind him. He sells tickets. Yeah, he sells tickets for sure. Polanco, like I said, these guys talking crap. It's good for the sport. But Polanco, you're going to talk about knocking somebody out, then it gets a little different, in my opinion. You have to show it against a crafty veteran who many consider older. He only 34, an older vet. And he was basically, really you know, forcing you into some moments where you just didn't take full advantage of those, man. His defense was on point. It was just he exposed Polanco in some ways that it seems like frustration might have set in just a little bit for Polanco. But he ain't going nowhere. He's still good. He undefeated. He clearly won the fight. No controversy to that. Shushu looked all right in this fight. I felt like he could have done more, in my opinion. Yeah, you and several other people that Blue. I think he could have picked up the pace. I thought, okay, yes, this is his first 12 rounder. I thought he was going to pick it up on the back end. And some of the moments where I felt he could have let his hands go, he didn't. But it wasn't no doubt that he was winning the fight. He did enough to win the fight. But if you're talking about fighting Inoue, a name like Inoue that's on the pound for pound list, he's not going to give you any type of therapeutic exemption there, Shushu. To just say, oh, when you just standing there, I'm gonna let you chill till I figure out. No, Inoue is gonna be at your front door. Knock, knock, kick. He's not gonna wait. He's gonna kick the door in and continue to be right there in your chest. You're not gonna have time to rest. So that attrition is gonna have to play a serious factor in how Shushu looks on the latter rounds in there with an Inoue. Also, I say the same about Espinoza. Espinoza has this gear. He's shown to have a gear. And you must take that gear serious at the end of the day. Shout out to Andrew in the building. Shushu is a good fighter, a clean fighter. He is dedicated to the craft. He's right on the cusp. He's right there. He's missing something, though. He's underwhelmed. Good summation. Solid summation. He's a clean fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he comes in there and he don't display boxing skill. I like Shushu as a fighter, man. It's just I don't know where the gears are at. I just don't know why he's not taking full advantage of the moments. Like you just can't hear the crowd booing and think that's okay. In order for you to extend, I know he's making pretty decent money. From what I heard he's making pretty decent money, right? For where he's at in his career. He wants to continue to build on that. That monetary tower. He wants to continue to stack floors and floors when it comes to his purse amount. But the only way you're going to do it is that people be calling for you to fight certain fighters because they want to see it happen. You can't have performances play out like it did yesterday. Blue said Nick Ball coming to fight. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Xander got Tito cosign and the island of Puerto Rico behind him. Top Rank going to move him. Hey, I don't doubt that shot news. They're going to move Xander. But he himself called out Fundora and Murtazalayev. I'm not sure. I'm totally not sure if that fight, neither of those fights is going to happen. Because like you said, if Top Rank is moving him, he has the Tito cosign, right? I doubt they're going to send him up there expeditiously to fight Fundora. And Fundora is definitely coming off a second Zoo win by stoppage, a Cordell Booker win. I mean, Fundora is on a roll right now, and he's a very dangerous sniper. You know what I'm saying? He has the length. His arm is the length of a 50 cal. But I understand how these fighters like Xander, Top Rank is pushing them. But one thing we know about Top Rank, you get that belt. Sometimes they call for help. I'm serious. They get that belt, and sometimes it don't work out. I hope it doesn't play out like that with Xander Zayas. But I will say this, right? Who's hot, who's not? Looking at this, okay? Vargas right now, he's close to the oven. He just needs to step up competition. He's close. He's close. Rohan Polanco, no. I don't care how many Dominicans rock with Rohan Polanco. To me, he's not hot right now. He's not. I'm gonna be honest. He's not hot right now. Keep any other fighter out your vocabulary. You need to work on some stuff. You know, Bruce Carrington. Bruce Carrington is hot right now because he's an interim WBC champion. He stepped up to the front, the porch. Now he's waiting for his title shot to get in the door. You know what I'm saying? Bruce Carrington's hot. Shout out to him, the interim WBC champion at featherweight. Let's see, can he go in there with another decent name that he called out post-fight and see if it's going to happen or it's just another TO. You know, call out everybody and then step out like you had it to go. He ain't eating in. I hope that's not it with the featherweight division. I just hope he gets one of those names, preferably Nick Ball. And of course, Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas is hot right now, man. Xander Zayas is a champion. He's a WBO super welterweight champion, former belt holder, former belt of Sebastian Fundora. So he's certified right now. He's validated. He is a world champion. I know people call him Bruce Carrington the champion. I call these guys who get an interim championship, I call them champion. But depending in the company that you're in, they tend to like lay low on that. You know, like another guy who was a lightweight interim WBC champion, Ryan Garcia. You know, interim championships, you still get that belt. They still look good sitting in your cash. For real. They look very well. But let me remove this. If you're in the building, you know, just do me a favor and activate. You know what I'm saying? Activate that button. I would appreciate it. Okay.
In reading and language arts.
Hopefully that looks good to you right there.
Across every grade level, with
Whoa!
graders seeing the largest jump. 54%
give
of
her
students reached meets or master grade level expectations.
Column of her own.
Up from 47%
This is what I liked about the
before
quote the other night.
Mayor Parker says the scores
First of
reflect
all, she's turned the corner. She got the glam squad on deck, doing her hair, making sure everything good. And then she's showing you what women, black women, look like naturally. I gotta respect her for that. Naturally, y'all. Natural, not these smelly. Ugh. These putrid BBLs that's going around where marriages are goddamn heading straight to court. I gotta get divorced. Yeah, I don't care how much money you got. I gotta get up out of this marriage today. Got to, y'all. Son, why are you trying to get out of marriage? And that's a beautiful young lady. Y'all, I know she's beautiful. She was beautiful when I met her. But let me tell you something. When we get intimate, God damn it, I have to stick cotton balls all the way up. I had to grab some bed sheets tied around my head like I'm goddamn, you know, Tarzan and shit. Karate Kid. I'm trying to stop that smell by all means necessary, Your Honor. Clarissa is showing y'all the natural body of what black women used to, you know, be braggadocious about. Like they used to tell you to look back there, you know, as my dad used to call it the rump. You know, the rump. You know what I'm saying? That was that rump. Clarissa is showing you the naturality, if that's even the word. She's showing you the naturality, yo.
Coming along.
That's a good thing because there's not many sisters that's in the sport that can sit up there and wear Gucci like that on stage and represent it the way in. So salute to her for doing her thing. But let's get to the fight, though. You know, she had to walk out, and she went in there against Daniels. And Daniels had this plan to basically emulate the Tom and Jerry theme that was talked about from Turkey Al Sheik. I didn't like it, but I was curious to know how long it was going to last. But what I appreciated from Carissa Shields is that she wasn't having that bullshit. She said, "No, you're not going to embarrass me. No. You made it seem like you was going to do more. You was going to come here and fight me and everything." No, Daniels went in there, just running on the outside of the ring, trying to frustrate Shields, right? Trying to tease her with the 99 boo-boo. But what I appreciate is that Shields said, "No, man." She started to close distance and yell, "You early in the fight. Your opponent's going to be faster. Fatigue haven't really started to set." So she was able to slip some of Carissa's shots. But I like how she finally closed distance. She was walking her down, placing her shots, slowing Daniels down, gaining control of the fight, gaining control of her opponent's movement. So it wouldn't freaking fog the place up. She forced Daniels to have to fight. Now, some of the work, in my opinion, was smothered. Some, in some cases, I just thought she could have did well with jabbing the shit out of Daniels. But, choosing to fight on the inside from a fighter who's not willing to engage, sometimes you might get them clinching and holding, like Daniels was trying to do. She was trying to do everything to slow Carissa up, get her frustrated, and take less damage. But I just like how she just didn't sit back and throw her hands up like William School. I appreciate that. Respect. She did not put her hands out to the side like William School and say, like Canelo Alvarez, and say, "Hey, what is this? ¿Qué pasó? No, amigo." You know what I'm saying? He didn't throw his hands. Carissa didn't throw her hands out like, Canelo did in there with William School. She got the business. Because I don't feel it like, you know what I'm saying? Close distance. Yeah, close distance. Got active. Made it a fight. It wasn't an electric. But we ain't talking about that. We just talking about the GWOAT. She went in there and did what the GWOAT supposed to do, and that was make it a fight. That's what she needed to do. It says boxing results: Shields extends reign, and Harrison claims gritty win. Something else went on in this win too. Y'all know what it was? Look at that. It wasn't undisputed, was it? Ugh. So much hardware. She's gonna have to build an addition to her home. And she's in the right place. If she got, I heard she got a crib down here in the A. They have basements galore down here in the A. You know what I'm saying? She has basement galore. But let's read this right quick. WBC, WBO, IBF, and WBF heavyweight champion Carissa T-Rex Shields, 17-3 KOs, defeated IBF world light heavyweight champion Lonnie Daniels by a 10-round unanimous decision on Saturday night at the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. In the first 4 rounds, Shields chased Daniels, easily winning all 3. In the 4th round, Shields ended it with the left hook on the chin. Had to slow it down, had to hit that switch, right? It says in the 5th round, Daniels decided to stand toe-to-toe with Shields, who outlanded her. In the 6th round, Shields continued to outscore Daniels. In the 7th round, Shields won again, but Daniels landed the final punch. In the 8th round, they're just going round for round. I'm not gonna do it. It's good to see this though, because that's how I used to do fillers, insert fillers when I was writing these articles on these fights. It take you back a little bit, right? It said it's just going into the undercard fights. Man, they just skated through this, man. This article was kind of skated through, but salute to the GWOAT, undisputed light heavyweight. Heavy as the head, yo. Heavy as the head. Her head is definitely heavy with accomplishments in the sport of boxing. You cannot deny that. Shields' head is heavy, is the head who wears the crown. And it'll be difficult for people if Shields was to retire and wait till she's eligible in the Hall of Fame, right? She would get in first ballot. Absolutely. I don't know why people comparing her to other fighters, but she would get in first ballot and then she can come back to the sport. And I think she'll make more money if she was to get into the Hall of Fame and then come back to the sport because she's super young. My caveat to the biggest question of it all, I'm like, what is left for her? How is she going to expound? How does she create adventure? How do you create it? How is Shields to create? She has to move back down. She has to descend back down to a division, and hopefully one of those bigger names fight her. It's nothing else for her to do up top. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to see her fight Franchon Cruz-Dezurn. They're pretty good friends. Shout out to Cruz-Dezurn, champ. Shout out to her, good peoples, man. I definitely want to see her fight one of these other names, man. That's been, floating around in the air, but no one's really paying it any attention. I would like her to move down to like 160, see if anybody's willing to engage. Anybody's willing to basically entertain a contract down at those weights. I don't know if Clarissa even think about moving to 154 or not. I don't think she's interested. I don't know. Maybe so if the price is right. But Clarissa was definitely hot. She went in there, got the job done, scooped up the belt once again, and she adds on to the weight. It's already heavy, and that only heavy the head who wear the crown. She definitely has a plethora of crowns, and she's a Hall of Famer as we speak, a legend of the sport. So salute and congrats to Clarissa once again, the GOAT. She's calling out Layla Ali. I don't know if that fight ever happened, even 15 million. Some pictures floating around that Layla is basically lost some weight. I don't know if she's low key getting in shape for something. Who knows? But that'll be a good fight for them to potentially scrap it out and get it over with. Timothy Bradley. Okay. I want to talk about what he said about my boy Tank. Timothy Bradley, we all know that he's been somewhat on a rampage. That jacket. I think Timothy Bradley got a jacket that came from one of those nuclear facilities that was is not accessible to human beings. For real. I think they have all those radiation signs up there, and somehow, some way, Timothy jacket was infected, and they put that shit on, and he felt some abnormal shit popping off. You know what I'm saying? Like his head started to swell a little bit more. He started to glow. When he looked in the mirror, he said, "You're the one." He had the motherfucker. "You're the one, Timmy. You're the one. Go talk your shit." I think when he put on that jacket, Timmy changed. Yeah, Timmy changed. Because he took me back to the centers when Omar went out there just to take a little piss. Omar came back around. He still looked like Omar, but he was sounding a little crazy. He said, "Why don't you go ahead and just let me up in there?" Come on now, y'all know me. That's how Timmy sound, don't he? Somebody done got the Timmy. I ain't gonna lie, somebody done bit Timmy. They need to goddamn check Timmy when he come on deck and do these commentating. They need to check and see if he got some puncture wounds. Seriously, because haven't Timmy been sounding like freaking Omar from Centers? Nah, y'all don't want that right there. Come on now, why y'all treat me like this? If y'all mad at what I say, come on, do something about it. I'm just doing my job. I'm a Hall of Famer. Timmy got the Hall of Famer now. But this man recently said Timmy Bradley said Gervonta Davis mentally checked out, seeking retirement paydays with Pacquiao, Jake Paul. What do y'all think about that? The article goes on to say He states that Gervonta 30-0 and 1, 28 by way of knockout, won't fight Shakur Stevens for any amount of money that Turki Al-Sheikh offers him. It says Davis will instead choose Manny Pacquiao, Jake Paul, or someone else to get the bag before retiring as a wealthy millionaire. Tim believe that Gervonta is sick of the sport after 12 years in the pro ranks and wants to do other things in his life. Tank is done. He hung them up. Shoes off. Get the back. Put a plaque up. He's done. Tank is done, said Tim Bradley to Fight Hubs TV about his belief that Gervonta Davis had mentally checked out on his career and is hanging around to get a few more paydays in the circus fights before retiring. Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe El Chin Checker, Jawline Wrecker, put him in the dirt, one hell of a flexor? Do y'all think that El Chin Checker is done? Do y'all believe El Chin Checker is done, yo? I just want to get your thoughts. Do y'all believe that Gervonta Tank Davis, per Omar, is done with the sport? And can y'all give me an honest response to that, please? If you choose to be a little bit disingenuous, I'm not going to be mad. Do you believe that Timothy Bradley is hit this on the head? Can y'all just let me know in the chat? Do you think that he is correct? Do you concur with Omar's words? I need to know. Do you concur? Has Gervonta Davis, who is going through some issues right now, it's not the first time, but all of a sudden now it's been put out there by Omar, Timothy Bradley, that he's hung it up. He wants circus fights. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. It was a time and place where I would absolutely be against circus fights. But I'm more so looking at the money aspect of it. I should look at the money aspect. Because when I see fighters that I grew up watching coming back to the sport past their prime, I see fighters like Manny Pacquiao continue to fight. I say I'm not mad at El Chin Checker for coming back if he does take a Jake Paul fight, a Manny Pacquiao fight. I'm not mad at him for that. Everybody else do it. If you're not screaming at Mario Barrios and you're pissed the F off that he looked the way he did, I don't want to hear anything about El Chin Checker. If that man wants to come back and fight a Manny Pacquiao, let him fight. Let him get that bag like a lot of other people have gotten. And y'all refuse to say something about it. Let him get the bag. Fury went in there and fought Francis Ngannou. 0-0 in the boxing ring. Floyd Mayweather on his 50th fight fought a 0-0 Conor McGregor. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Joshua fought a 0-1 Francis Ngannou. So you trying to tell me that somehow, some way you believe that we're not going to have another open workout of El Chin Checker in the building? Come on, man. Hey, Tank, man. I don't believe him, bro. You can get Manny Pacquiao and bring him back down here to GA, bro. Y'all trying to tell me El Chin Checker has left the building? How dare you? So many people are trying to run him off because they're mad because, you know, their word means absolutely nothing. It won't even make it through the front window. And the window could be cracked. It does not have access. For real, the firewall say no. The man is figuring some stuff out. He got legal stuff going on, man. But for Timothy Bradley to say he's done, he just want those cheap, you know, those circus fights so he can get a big bag. I mean, looking at the names, Jake Paul, I don't see that happen. I wouldn't feel good watching such a small Tank go in there with a huge Jake Paul. And then, for Jake Paul to go in there and move around like he did with Chavez Jr.? Come on, bro. Come on, man. I don't want my people being subjected to that type of criminality. You know what I'm saying? Leading the people on. What false advertisement? I don't want the hottest chat in the MF and game to be subjected to that. I don't, bro. I don't. Because it was different, right? It was different when Mike Tyson, at 58 years old, selected to step in there. And shout out to the photographer who took this amazing pic. Shout out to World Combat Sports. I talk to him every now and then. He told me to tell y'all what up. When Mike Tyson was standing up there, there is a former heavyweight champion. So it looked a little bit better. But if you get Tank Davis in the place of Mike Tyson, and Tank is not a big dude at this point anyway. I mean, it's gonna look wild. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna look incredibly wild, bro. It's gonna look crazy. And I don't want to even give you an impression that I'll be hyping that fight up. I just think it's false advertisement. I don't want to put myself in a predicament to act like, you know what, fuck it, Tank. I support it. Go out there and fight Jake Paul. I can't do it. I can't do it. In order for me to get some clarity to this freaking nonsense, I have to go out here to the range. You know what I'm saying? I have to go out to the range where there's crispy blue water, and fire some weaponry. You know what I'm saying? Channel my inner me. I will have to go out there and let some rounds down range to try to get some clarity as to what I want to see El Chin Checker do next. I heard what Timothy Bradley said. Timothy said he checked out and all that. But I have faith that Tank can definitely come back and fight somebody of notoriety. For real, I think he can. To be honest with you, I think it's out there. I know Lamont Roach is going on a world press tour, and he's telling everybody, man, I signed the contract. That's over, Lamont. Let it go. If he wants the contract to be signed, he'll get it done. He'll sign it. For real. He'll sign it. I do believe if Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis does, touch gloves later on in the near future, I do see it ending somewhat like this for Lamont Roach. I know a lot of people perked up. They was just tuning in. They say, yeah. And then I had to show this. I had to give them a reflection. No candles needed. I just had to give you a reflection that Lamont Roach might end up in the seated position. He might find himself looking up, sunbathed into them lights if he step in there with Tank again. I don't think it make it to the distance. I think Tank KOs Lamont Roach in brutal fashion. You know what I'm saying? From what I'm hearing, all the stuff he got going on, he's really, up here believing that the fight is a no-go forever, But I think it ends just like this, to be honest. I think he gets the business from Tank, and it'll be a bad outing for him. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of people that say that WCS is just hating on Lamont Roach. No, I just feel like Tank still has, he has some preserved in the reservoir. He still has some diesel left. He do. He still have diesel left to go ahead and prove to the people he's one of the best fighters in the game. I don't care how Pacquiao looks when he step in there and fight Tank. I could care less how Pacquiao. If Pacquiao came up to the face-off and he looks just like this, I'd be like, El Chin Checker. Backflip, yeah. El Chin Checker. I'll be calling for the backflip immediately after he knocks Pacquiao out. Immediately, yo. It wouldn't be no hesitation. I will call for the backflip. Kenny Ellis, Calvin, please move to the side, please. We have to get this on camera again. Please. Please, you can do me a favor respectfully. Kenny, Calvin, Kenny, please. He don't need y'all there to catch him. He's done this before. Go ahead, Tank. Fly, young man, fly. I hope he freaking backflip off and do a double this time. Not just a single, a double. While Manny Pacquiao over there with the oxygen tank, up to his nose. I hope it, y'all. I hope he absolutely do a double backflip off the top rope, because Manny is selecting to come back and fight, and they want to match him up with a hitter. Match him up with Gervonta, man. Match him up with El Chin Checker. Let's not play around. Manny, he had his fun. Mario Barrios was a perfect dance partner for for Manny Pacquiao to go in there and look like, to have people to say, hey man, I really think Manny Pacquiao won that. Okay, let's just say, for instance, you're right. Just like Tank told Lamont Roach, Mario probably told Pac, hey Pac, I respect you and everything, but you ain't getting this win tonight, buddy. I respect you, but you ain't getting this win tonight, homie. I just want to let you know, whatever you do, they ain't giving it to you. You're going to have to knock me out. I want El Chin Checker to get the shot. I want him to get that Pacquiao shot. Since EJ couldn't get it and lock it in, I want El Chin Checker to get the shot, yo. Because to me, I think we haven't seen Tank fly, young man fly off that top rope. Come on, man. It's time for another backflip, yo. My lens is ready. It's time for another backflip, and I want to see it. Truth be told, man, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but Pacquiao coming there looking like that on the freaking thumbnail, I'm gonna say, fly, young man, fly. Don't even hesitate. When the referee wave off the fight and Manny Pacquiao is picking up his organs, I don't want to hear you Manny Pacquiao acts, coming over here. Oh, W says you're being insensitive. He's a legend. That's a legend that continue to go and come back to the sport and try to fight these youngins. And each time he walk in there, what they say? Hey man, I think he can get it done. I think Pacquiao can get it done. They continue to give Pacquiao the nod. Come on, yo. They continue to give Pacquiao the nod. And I'm not supposed to cheer for El Chin Checker? Yeah, I want to cheer, man. I want to see him somehow, send Manny Pacquiao into retirement. I do, man. Don't be mad at me, man. I just want to see him send Manny Pacquiao into retirement, because it just seems like each time I see Manny return, especially there was our four year, and he come in here and go the distance with Mario Barrios, bro. I say, yeah, let's make the El Chin Checker fight. It's only one man that can send him to retirement right now. You know what I'm saying? That they'll let fight him. They ain't gonna let Brian Norman fight him. They're not. I don't see that. I'll be highly surprised. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it happening. But more so the people that really know, they're gonna tell you straight up. It's like Pacquiao just came off a 4-year hiatus, and he still went the distance with Mario Barrios. He's more than ready to go in there and fight Gervonta Davis. More than ready. We want to see another freaking backflip. We want to see him with a Pacquiao on his record. And we want to see the fans get back in here and start showing love instead of their hating. Is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask, though? Like, Tank is getting incredible amount of hate when the man is going through some serious shit. And Timothy Bradley get up here and say, man, he's mentally checked out, man. I don't agree with Tank being done for good. I don't agree with that. We do know he's going through some shit. But I don't agree that he's totally checked out from boxing for having big fights. I don't know, y'all. But I would like for, him to come back and link up with a Shakur, possibly. If him and Lamont Roach is 100% done and out of here. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a fight where people will definitely support. If he was to come back somewhere up the line and fight Shakur Stevenson, if it's not too far off the path, like this is 26 heading to 27, and certain people moving up. If it's not too far off the beaten path, man, I would definitely like to see that happen, to be honest with you. But let me show y'all this right now, because we got to get Pacquiao in there with Tank Davis. I ain't gonna lie. We got to get Pacquiao in there with Tank Davis. We have to. I want to show y'all something that's beautiful. That can send Pacquiao into proper relief. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you gotta look at this, right? Look at the frame itself. Look at this now. Look at that. Boom. Boom. I mean, look at the height. You know what I'm saying? I can see Manny Pacquiao over there in the corner looking like Leo Santa Cruz 2.0 and Tank flipping off into the freaking wires and shit that's hanging from the damn ceiling. Let me take that down because, certain people, they're going to get offended. I get it. But I just wanted to put that out there. All right. Let's just make sure that it happened. I'm going to move on to the next topic, okay? Move on to the next topic. All right. But best wishes to El Chin Checker. Salute, man. Wish you none but the best. Wish you none but the best. Let's go to the boxing scene for a minute. Okay. And I'm going to talk about this briefly, okay? Because I already did a live on it the other day. Boxing scene says it's going to strip rights of boxers everything you need to know about the proposed change to the Ali Act. Okay. It says a bill proposing changes to the act recently became public and have been labeled the Ali Revival Act. Revival Act, y'all. The Ali Revival Act. It says some of the language is confusing and some are desperate for you to hear some of the benefits, like minimum wage for boxers per round and improved drugs and medical testing. But what does it actually mean? Is there a downside? Is this not what boxing has always needed? We knew this was coming, okay? And now the bill is out there in the open. Could it change the face of boxing? My question is, what is the face of boxing? If you're talking about the two-sided coin, how can it change the face of boxing when it doesn't supersede the current structure of the sport? It doesn't supersede it. It doesn't have hierarchy. It doesn't have the controlling authority. There's no seniority in this Ali Revival Act when it comes to boxing. Absolutely. And change the face of boxing in a way, right here, in a way that is going to strip the rights of boxers. So the Ali Act, introduced a good 25 years ago, was brought in because boxers was being exploited financially through promoter practices. And this bill basically says, hey, a new type of promoter could be created that doesn't have to comply with the Ali Act, so long as they do certain things. Do y'all get what they're saying? They're saying that the TKO boxing is going through all the bells and whistles to be able to operate, in his own regard, under his own chain of command. They're getting permission first. They're submitting the paperwork for approval, y'all. They're going to Congress. So if you have representatives up there that's passing this, that's signing off on it, us on the bottom half, we're considered the subordinates to consumers. Why are you so mad? I ask you this not to be repetitive, but I ask you, why are you so mad at a sport that you've been covering for so long? Now you have three individuals, obviously very wealthy individuals, that's coming together to basically take a little slice of the pie off the boxing structure. This is the only way it could have been done. You had to have someone with money and power. And with both of those, they was going to get your respect one way or the other. What did Turkey do? Turkey started getting people respect because he's making bigger fights, right? But what they don't like is they're finding out Turkey don't give a fuck. Turkey is doing things his way. He's not an advisor, manager, promoter. So when it comes to Turkey being held accountable, nobody's talking. So what did he do? I'm going to link up with Dana White and Nick Khan, and we're together is going to start a new boxing league. And people are talking about, I feel some type of way about minimum wage being a part of each round. You know what I'm saying? I mean, are they still getting paid? It's some fighters that fight on these regional promotions, and they get jacked around even worse. These promoters be telling them, one amount of money of the purse that they're going to get, and then come back in there and don't give them the amount of money that was agreed upon. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because I actually, in the trenches, and learn this stuff out. Some of these promoters have these fighters signed for $1. You know why? Because taxes and everything else. But come to find out, they just don't want to put it out there that, hey, this is the amount of money I'm putting out there into this fighter and that fighter. So they're signed to fight for $1 when the actual purse agreed upon maybe 800, maybe 1,000. For those of you that may not be privy to the information and get mad when I put stuff out there, and you know who you are, the haters, those individuals that want to say it's misinformation because you don't know it. Do your research or go to a fight and find out. But that happens. Let's keep it moving. It says, so that's terrible for boxers and terrible for boxers, and boxers need to pay attention to this because their rights are under jeopardy right now. And this bill could set back and rights of boxers decades if it passes. Now, what they're probably talking about is how they didn't want the manager to be somewhat a promoter and for someone to be double dipping and playing dual roles. People exploiting fighters. Fighters get exploited all the time when it comes to paperwork. It says, do you feel that they will pay attention to it? Or do you think that some people are chasing short-term money without looking at the long-term picture? Once again, WCS will tell you straight up, I do not blame fighters for chasing the money. This is a very, very impactful sport. This is a sport that can definitely leave you with residual damage. Sometimes, if you pay attention to some of these fighters in combat sports, man, they come down with pugilistica. You hear them talk, you say, oh, man, you got fucked up. Not only that, it's the other shit that you don't see that's behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? The people that has to deal with these fighters not having the competence to pick up a second job and stay there long term to make enough money to support themselves because they're going through head trauma. And some of them come down with dementia. Let's keep it moving. I hope boxers would pay attention is the best thing I can say. I don't want to be negative. The one thing that's difficult is boxers, unlike a lot of other organized sports, don't have a union. There's not a centralized place where a body of boxers are together and they could respond in a collective way. True words spoken, y'all. There's no union across the board in boxing. There are individuals out here that have been trying and maximizing their resources, trying to build that reach and talk to people about sponsoring or donating or assisting with building a union. It just haven't been something that you can take to Congress and say, you know what, we're willing to pass this. We will support a union across the board in boxing. No. Now there's going to be paperwork going up to the government that the union is submitting that seems like it's unfair practices. Unfair, unlawful. They don't want that shit to happen. You want to really argue about something, that would be something to argue about. Boxing having a centralized place where a body of boxers together and they could respond in a collective way. That is the overseer of all overseers. If there was a centralized place where boxers can basically submit their grievances. Let's move on. It says, but the Mixed Martial Arts Fighters Association, the MMAFA, even thought MMA is not boxing. Even though MMA is not boxing, the MMAFA has been organized for well over a decade, and they've been pushing to reform the Ali Act to expand it to all prize fighters. It makes no sense that boxers have certain rights, but other prize fighters, be it kickboxers, Muay Thai, mixed martial artists, can be exploited in a way that boxers can't be exploited. And so they've been pushing for years and years for the Ali Act to be expanded. Imagine that, y'all. You have people over here complaining about how boxing is going on a regularity, but the Ali Act doesn't bleed over to other existing collective combat sports. And then, depending on who you're talking to, they'll say, well, that's their problem. They should have selected boxing. They selected, another combat sport where certain things don't apply to them. And the fighters are just left out there pretty much to defend themselves inside the ring and outside the ring. But only one of them have a third man to make sure you're taken care of. The rest is on your own. It goes on to say, and they're also pushing for the Ali Act to be protected. So boxers' rights shouldn't be stripped away. And if I was a professional boxer, or if I was a high caliber amateur boxer thinking of turning professional and concerned that my rights were going to be stripped, I will go to the Mixed Martial Arts Fighters Association. And this is a long article, as you can see, a very solid article at that. I'm not going to read all of it. I just want to make mention. You can see how long this article is, right? I just wanted to make mention of some points. And especially this last one right here. Do you think other promoters are going to sign up to this and run their business the same way? Or will they be able to run their business the way that they do already, just with the additional costs and additions? It said, it's not hard to get a license. It's not expensive. And there's not a whole lot you need. But now on top of whatever it costs to get a license, you need to have your performance institute. You need your training facilities that the boxers could use. And you need to create and pay for your anti-doping program. That's a lot. That is a lot. It's actually interesting. The way it reads, if you don't need to have out of competition testing, but you can do out of competition, but you can do out of competition testing. But when you run a card, you yourself are going to have to test half of those fighters in competition for anti-doping doping purposes. And so it's just created a lot more expense that the promoter must bear to get into the game. That's why there's a lot of promoters that don't test their fighters. They don't want to pay the money. They don't care. Go in there and fight. They don't care. But you get these people that go on a torchlit parade trying to say, get in the anti-doping just because it sounds fun. Just because it sounds fun. But boxing, it does have its anti-doping, chain of custody that happens. That is locked in. You have different people that support it and those that don't. It says, so there's more of a barrier of entry. I don't know what the main promoters believe about this. I don't know if they're going to be cooperating with the UFC or if they're happy to have this new entity existing, competing against them. It's interesting the way this was designed. And it takes people like them three with money to grease the palms, as they call it. You know what I'm saying? To grease the palms and make everything work. This is a dirty game, man. And it gets even dirtier when fighters start to suffer the ill effects of being in boxing. And they don't have a centralized location where they can submit paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Have the resources, the legal resources that can be provided to them to submit the proper paperwork for assistance. It just don't work, bro. Shout out to Squad Jones in the building, man. Shout out to everybody that's on deck. He said you get that extra bread when you fight for the enemy. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Swat Jones in the building. What's good, man? Swat. Salute. No cap. In my opinion, I think Tank need to tighten up for sure. His mind just seemed off to me. But to say the man done, no, I'm not going to say that. He only 30. A lot go on in them 30s. Yeah, a lot does go on, man. Especially if you're not in your mid-30s yet. But I think Tank needs to step away for a little, for real. When your name making more noise outside of the profession, but loud in court, it's time to slow down. It's get real fast. Just saying. I agree with you, Jones. You know what I'm saying? You make a solid point. As a lot of y'all in the chat make solid points, man. Just had to jump in the chat real quick. I'm going to listen in the back. Hope Tank already on the cool. Y'all be good. For sure, man. Be good, bro. Why you do Manny like that in the pick, man? Hey, man. I'm just saying it would be good to see Tank just, get it over. You know what I'm saying? Finalize it. Enough is enough. I just want to see Tank backflipping off the top rope and Manny saying, it's been fun. I did incredible things in my career, but this is my last and final fight. I take my hat off to Javante. You know what I'm saying? I just want to hear him give his retirement speech. I just want to get him with the retirement speech. That's all. It's time. If Manny comes back off a 4-year layoff and he continues to fight these young fighters, Manny might be one of those guys who, have that adult bib on. He might not be well, man. People still thinking he ain't taking. No, man. Manny's fighting himself into something serious, in my opinion. That's just the way I look at it. He's just fighting himself in something serious. What I do appreciate, though, the hottest chat in the MF game, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up once again, supporting the channel. Yes, we should be patient enough to continue to look for these fights that's coming up on the radar. We still haven't forgot about, the second part 2. You know what I'm saying? Of the T-Mobile Master. Yeah, it's still in the air over there in Vegas. We just can't wait until Terrence Crawford and Canelo, continue to tick the day away and get close to the September fight card. You know what I mean? And for everyone else, man, that tuned in collectively, man, y'all activate that button. I appreciate you. Another time, another place. I'm out.